James Cipriani is to start on Saturday at fly half for England. I think this is long overdue. I think he should start the first game of the summer tour against Africa. George Ford against South Africans like Eben Estebeth and Lou Diaga running at him, who are big ball carriers in the forward pack. They're going to smash him. To keep playing George Ford in that position is tantamount to, do you want to kill him? Because he's only like 5'7". He in rugby union terms he's tiny. How he's still playing at the top level after so many years is amazing to me. He's a brave lad. I have no question about his commitment and putting his body on the line. But there's got to come a point where his career is going to be he's going to get seriously hurt. His tackle technique is exemplary, but he is small. And big ball runners, doesn't matter if it's an outside centre or a number 8, a second row, a flanker, an inside centre who's a good-looking inside centre, a winger coming off his wing, someone who's got pace and power and size, they're going to run him over. And that's got to be, in the back of anyone's mind, and his mind, is he's going to get flattened. Cipriani, however, when he was first in the Rugby Union side over a decade ago, his tackling was not his strong suit. Now it is. He's improved his defensive side of the game. In attack, he's a maverick. You don't know what he's going to do. And I think that's what England need right now, is that X factor and that unknown, because they're being so predictable in attack. It's depressing, and they are missing a lot of tackles in defence. Defensively, they are coming up short, missing a lot of tackles. And we're going back to the Six Nations, the Barbarians one-off test, and the test so far against Africa. A lot of tackles, a lot of points being shipped. Very porous defence, which is not like an Eddie Jones side. Eddie Jones sides normally are in your face, they're snarly, they're aggressive off the breakdown. Not in the last 8 months. Not this year. Not in the last 6-7 months. Haven't been. They lose in the breakdown. They're getting caught flat-footed on the defensive lines. They're not up in your face. They're being more passive, and they're sitting back, and they're allowing the opposition to get that jump start on them and push back. Cipriani, because of his energy levels, he's a very high energy player. He might pull that defensive line up a bit as well, because he's going to be up on his toes, full of energy, and I think he wants to impress. And I think his defensive side of his game has improved markedly throughout his career. In the early days, his defence was a shambles as well, but as time has gone on, he has got better and more defensively prudent, and he's going to, when he leads the way, the rest of the players are going to go with him. But he brings more options to attack, because he brings more players into play with some of his off-the-cuff plays, and I think that's what England need. But we'll see. I mean, I personally think he's deserved his call-up far sooner than what he got. He's been performing consistently now for several years. He did play abroad for a while. I do think those selection rules are wrong, and I could argue those selection rules on another video. There are some great players playing in France who could easily improve this England side. But because of the selection rules, they're not eligible, which I do think is actually harming England. The French clubs pay their higher wages than the English clubs. They have a higher salary cap. And I know there are a few central contracts, and they do help. And I do know that the Welsh and the Irish and the Scots do this as well, and the Italians and the French to a point where there are central contracts from the elite squads, and that does help keep club costs down. But if you've got a star player who's just proving that they are playing at the highest level consistently week in, week out, and they are putting performances in, and they're on form, I say select them. I know, but I think that's one of the reasons why Cipriani was held back. I think he went abroad thinking, my test career is not going to happen. He played in Australia for a while. He's back in England now. He's been on form for a couple of years. He's deserved his call up far sooner than I think he actually, when he did get it. I think Eddie Jones should have played him from the start of this summer series in South Africa. I think that he should have played him in the first and second test as starting 10. The results may have been different. They may not have been in hindsight, but Cipriani is not the long-term solution at fly half going forward long-term. But as a short-term stopgap, yeah, he can see through to the World Cup. He can be part of that squad going into the World Cup next year. it adds depth. It adds a bit of something extra. It's a different style of playing from 10 that England haven't had for a while. With Ford and Farrell, it's just been the same axis, and it's been predictable and plodding, and teams have worked it out. But anyway, what do you think? Do you think Cipriani deserves a longer run in the side? Is this his last chance to impress? Do you think he plays in the autumn? Is he going to be part of the World Cup plans next year? Because his form deserves consideration. And he can play fullback and he can play inside centre as well. So he adds other options. He's not just a one-dimensional maverick fly half. He is a multi-dimensional fly half, inside centre and fullback, depending on the tactics you got and the opposition you're playing. But I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very, very much for all your views and your likes and your comments. So please continue liking and subscribing because they are your friends. And I'll have some more videos for you soon.